Hi guys, it's nutritionist Maria here at Langley's Vital Nutrition Center, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about the worst things to eat for breakfast. So, a lot of times when we think of breakfast, we're thinking of cereals, pastries, French toast, pancakes, and things like that. We also think of eggs, but a lot of times it's these very sugar-ridden carbohydrate foods. And there's a few different reasons why this is the worst way to start your morning. So, first of all, it's doubling up on carbs, because if you think about it, when you have French toast, cereal, pancakes, muffins, any of those things, the flour that makes them is a broken down starch with little to no nutrients. This gets converted in your body into sugar very quickly because it's not a complex carbohydrate. It's a simple carbohydrate. And regardless, if it was a complex carbohydrate, the carbohydrates in it or the net carbs in it still are going to turn into sugar, but at a much slower rate, and it's going to spike your glucose less. But in the instance of flours, it's always broken down, like white flours that come in these foods, and it's gonna spike the glucose. So that is aside from the actual sugar that they add to it. So a lot of times we might be like, oh, there's no sugar in this, or I didn't eat a lot of sugar today, but are you thinking about the bread you ate, the pasta you ate, the tortillas you ate, or anything like that, even potato chips? So those are all sugars to our body. And when we start out our morning with sugar, we're gonna crave more throughout the day. And it tends to be that you could eat a big meal, like a lot of French toast or pancakes or something like that, or a breakfast with a lot of potatoes on the side, even if it has a decent amount of protein. And then shortly after, we won't be that full anymore. We're gonna get hungry again. And we'll notice when we have those high carbohydrates in the morning, it just kind of like snowballs throughout the day where we want to eat more and more, or we're just never really satisfied. We're not hungry, we're not full, but we want to keep eating, and it just throws off our blood sugar. So that is a major reason why. And that is not to mention that these foods are fortified, and I'll talk about that in another video, why fortified foods are not good for you. But it's just very void of nutrients in general. Now, a lot of times when we are eating this kind of foods, we're not getting much protein. Like if you're going to have a bowl of cereal, you're really not getting much protein in the day. And maybe you could add some collagen to your coffee or something, but it's just a really, really unhealthy way to start your morning. It's basically like eating junk food. Why are we eating donuts and pastries in the morning? We really need to start our morning out with protein. The other reason why I would suggest to not have a lot of carbs in the morning is that it's actually going to make you more tired. I would say save the carbs for nighttime when you're going to bed, like having a sweet potato for dinner. So in the morning, focus on protein and then energizing food. So protein's gonna be satiating. It's also gonna give your brain the neurotransmitters it needs. It's gonna give your body the amino acids it needs. It can help balance your mood. It balances your blood sugar. So really focus on protein in the morning. Some of my favorite ways to do that is with either Greek yogurt, an egg quiche, making sure that it's from pasteurized eggs, and the one that people don't tend to think about, and it's my absolute favorite recommendation, is leftovers from dinner. Because generally when I'm working with clients, they do pretty good with dinner. It's some kind of like meat and vegetables, but then it's like the breakfast and the lunch that is a little bit more tricky for them. So if you save some of that, having like steak and broccoli or vegetables or whatever, like your meat and your vegetables in your morning is literally the perfect breakfast. If you don't want to do that, having some bone broth in the morning, some kind of bone broth soup. You can even mix bone broth as your liquid medium in your smoothies. But starting your morning out with a mug of bone broth is an excellent way to start your morning. But just focus on protein in the morning. Skip out on those heavy carbohydrate foods. Definitely skip the cereal. It's an awful food. It's not even really a food. It's just basically Like, think of this stuff as candy. Why are we starting the morning out with candy? We wouldn't let our kids have candy for breakfast. Some of you might, but most of us wouldn't. So don't start your morning out with sugar. Start it out with protein. Thanks for watching.